I don't know what to think about this song.
Yeah.
Anyway, how was your week?
It was all right. We went to a Weird Al concert last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
With the kids? With the
Yeah,
boys?
yeah. He puts on a show. How was your week?
So it was Claire and I's 15th anniversary on Thursday. We tried to go out on Thursday, didn't worship tennis. Friday, the tennis. Saturday, we were free. So we went out to dinner last night, and Claire is in the other room with food poisoning.
Oh, fun.
Basically, we should never celebrate another anniversary. That's the answer.
That's what you got.
She's a hotel detective.
Oh, right. With all of that said,
Yeah.
this is a very bright spot in my week.
There you go. I'm glad to hear it.
To record the podcast. The other nice thing about it is that my other podcast is a novel podcast. So preparing for that is spending 2 or 3 weeks reading a novel.
Right.
And then, of course, I don't want to sound stupid. So I actually write questions out and I kind of organize it. And it could take me a long time to prepare for these things. The nice thing about this one is that I listen to a 2-minute song. Now, mind you, I do listen to it many times.
Sure.
I can listen to a 2-minute song 10 times and it's only 20 minutes.
Right. Exactly.
You want to start?
Sure. Welcome back. It's time once again to go inside the birdhouse with Lewis and Sean. I'm Sean.
I'm Lewis. What is this, our ninth one? Or?
Yeah, somewhere around there. We're up to track 10. We're at the halfway point.
And it's only 9 because we covered 2 songs in one. So we are 1 short of whatever track we're on this album.
But we are up to track 10, which is called parenthetical She Was A, and then Hotel Detective. As I think I said last week, always has been one of those songs like Hideaway Folk Family that I just don't listen to that often.
But unlike Hideaway Folk Family, which I still feel is like They Might Be Giants, there's something about Hotel Detective that feels very performative, like they're acting like another band. The sound of the song is so much like 70s rock songs.
It is very different from the sort of early 80s pop that they kind of were emulating. Yeah, it does have this kind of either late 60s or early 70s vibe to it.
There's that song by Elvis Costello, Watching the Detectives. I was wondering if this was a reference to that. She's a hotel detective. He's watching the detectives. It seems to be that this one kind of is about an old schooly detective from like noir films, but in a ridiculous situation.
I think it's more of a talking about either being with or holding a candle for someone who has a job that is inherently
cooler than yours.
Sure, but also secretive. How do you trust someone
if they can't talk about what they do
and what their
living?
Job is inherently secretive, and the amount of lying that has to be, just that's where I kind of,
like always, I do have an interpretation going into this, and then as always is the case, you blow my interpretation apart within the first few minutes. Let me tell you my whack out interpretation, just like the whacked out interpretation I did for Nothing's Gonna Change My Clothes. My interpretation here is that there is an exceptionally nosy person who's in everybody's business and listens to everything, and he's noticing this person, and so he's kind of developing this little metaphor of her being a little hotel detective.
Sure.
But she's not. She's just nosy and busybody and wants to be in everybody's business.
Yeah, I could totally be down with that. The concept of the hotel detective, obviously, that's an outdated thing, right? They don't exist anymore. They haven't existed in a long time. And it's interesting I don't think this is what it's about, but I'm looking at the interpretations that people put on the wiki, and a lot of people say that hotel detective is a euphemism for a prostitute. I've never heard that.
I feel like if you look at the lyrics, though,
it doesn't line up, right? I didn't like that interpretation. I mean, I think it's still kind of in line with, you're still talking about someone who has a job that's kind of a double life.
And maybe that person is a prostitute, but the song is not about that. The song is about the inability to connect with somebody who has a secretive job. I like that. Well, let me also note that, like Watching the Detectives, the Elvis Costello song, which is about watching these old noir films, There's a lot of lyrical evidence in this song that's about watching an old 30s noir film in which this job still exists. And they mention the underworld. They mention that now that lady is running the world. She's the only girl in this back alleyway. This is a fictional world he's watching,
Yeah.
right?
No, I totally get that. I would totally be down with that as an interpretation.
As is always the case, we always look at the lyrics and something always blossoms from it. That's different than what we assume.
There was a couple of things I thought was interesting because there's a pretty intense guitar solo in the middle of the song, and John Flansburgh did the guitar solo, and John Linnell said, they were referring to it, the record company chipped in for John's hospital bills after he injured himself recording the guitar solo on our single Hotel Detective. Now that we know his blood type, it makes performing the song a little easier.
That is funny. Linnell is funny.
The guitar that he plays in the video is one of 2 custom builds made for Bo Diddley when he was coming back in the early 80s. It's not a copy, but was not made by Bo himself. I guess Bo Diddley made his own guitars in the 60s.
Yeah, you could tell the kind of guitars he played were all these they just don't look like any other guitar. I did see Bo Diddley play live at Knott's Berry Farm.
Wow.
In the 80s.
That's the most Orange County kid thing I've ever heard.
And also the reason why Bo Diddley even got to be a bit of a name in the early to late 80s was, remember that athlete Bo Jackson?
Sure.
Which no one seems to talk about.
Yeah,
it was like the biggest thing.
Yeah, he just faded away.
The whole thing is because he played baseball and football, and he was apparently good at a lot of other sports.
Well, there was the commercial was about Bo Knows.
Exactly, Bo Knows, right? That's the commercial, and then at the end of that, he tries to play guitar.
And Bo Diddley, I remember that.
He goes, Bo, you don't know Diddley, right? And so because of that, everybody I think I was in high school by the time we saw him, right? But we knew him because of this commercial. Only because
right.
No one had listened to Bo Diddley albums. No one really knew him because no one was doing kind of like comprehensive studies of blues music at the time, right? And so I love the fact that I went to the Good Time Theater at Knott's Berry Farm and saw Bo Diddley play. And he did something that I thought was the coolest thing in the world and nobody else did. And people started leaving the theater. He kind of stopped playing and did these kind of sounds with his guitar, as if he was talking.
Oh, that's so cool.
He would berate his band with his I was like, that's so cool. But everyone's like, he stopped playing songs. I'm leaving. And I was like, Bo, get back to your music. You're going to lose half this audience.
That is funny, though, how much control he had over the guitar that he could do that.
Oh, my God. It was so good. It was so fun. Even some of the people I was with were like, let's go.
No, this is cool.
Anyway, so this episode is not about Bo Diddley, but I love that we got there because...
There is the Bo Diddley connection. It's kind of funny. All right, so to the lyrics that's interesting about this song, it starts with a count-in, which I was once told that was the laziest way to start a song ever.
Beautiful.
I kind of get it from a standpoint. I think some people use it as a cool affectation.
I'm sure we could list a dozen other lazy ways to start songs.
Sure.
And They Might Be Giants has already showed, like, they start songs right
Yeah. They're not doing it because it's lazy. And there's a reason why. I think, like you said, I think it's a callback to the type of music that they're
they're trying to emulate. Like a rock song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just kind of wants to get that grungy rock, and he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, nod to the mockumentary that I am in, Counting In, directed by the illustrious Griffin Davis, in which I play somebody whose sole career for 50 years is counting bands.
The greatest counter-inner of all time.
The greatest counter-inner of all time. Okay. To the prostitute angle, it does start with Nighttime Lady. The first lyric is Nighttime Lady. She says maybe.
What?
I'm on the right song.
I think you're on something wrong here.
It was a Hotel Detective.
Well, there's 2 versions.
Oh, how can there be 2 versions?
There's one that's got no parentheses.
Oh my God. There are 2 They Might Be Giants
There's
songs.
actually 3. There's this
that are called She's a Hotel
yes,
Detective.
there's this one, which is parentheses. There's one that drops the parentheses, and then there's one that's called She Was a Hotel Detective in the Future.
That is interesting to talk about. Let's talk about that real quick first.
So yes, there are 3 versions of this song. This was obviously the original, but then they did a version.
Are they all the same song, or are they 3 different
They are 3
songs?
pretty different songs, especially the She Was a Hotel Detective in the Future. It sounds nothing like this song.
As you said, it starts with a can.
Sounds with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they just go, they do a, all right, woo, ah, ha, ha, ha.
And again, which they do a lot in rock songs.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is something they've never done. None of their other songs have those kind of, yeah, right off the bat, you're like, this is different than most of their songs. But then you go into the first verse. She's got her ear to the walls and she's tapping the calls. If you've got a secret, boy, forget about it. Because she's,
Yeah, that it goes into the-
but that's why I'm
course.
saying, like, the whole concept of dating somebody who deals in secrets.
Or just dating somebody who's nosy, or just knowing somebody who's nosy. I mean, again, I can see she's got her ears to the walls and she's tapping the calls. If you got a secret, boy, forget about it. Because he could be with somebody or know somebody that is like, why? Like, what are you, a hotel detective?
Right.
Like, why do you care if the couple 3 doors down has a kid that may have mild autism? Like, what are you doing?
I think that you are correct that somebody knowing or being with or not sure how to deal with somebody who is way too nosy for their own good, for anybody's good, regardless of how they are otherwise, the fact that their need to know people's secrets.
Yeah, there's nothing in this song that suggests she's a good hotel detective or whether anything she does results in anything good.
Yeah, no, they don't really talk about what she's doing as a hotel detective, other than they're talking about she's got her ears to the walls and she's tapping the calls. Other than that, they don't talk about what she's doing. To me, there's got to be some kind of romantic feelings about it,
And
because
the chorus suggests that, right? Hotel detective, my little hotel detective. Yeah, she's a hotel detective. Why don't you check her out? What is that?
yeah, I know, right? Again, going back to the concept of dating somebody who's got inherently a secretive job. The first person of the song is talking to another person about this woman that he's either dating or he knows, and is like, this girl, I can't get her out of my mind. But she does this crazy thing where she's in everybody's business, and he's telling the person, you got to check her out. Like, I think he's trying to say, like, it's hard to believe what I'm telling you.
It's hard to even explain who she is, right? You kind of just have to like check her out, right? You know, at Irene's funeral on Tuesday, I've known Shelley. It's one of their cousins. But I talked to her a little bit more, and she was in the military, and she was spying on Russians 20 years ago. You know, she's talking about like listening to their calls and listening to them, and she had to speak Russian to do that too. So I was like, oh my God, she's kind of like,
yeah, no, it's so funny because the concept of spies that have been twisted in most people's minds based on what we see in movies and things like that. But there are actual covert people in the world
yes, they do
those jobs. Now, it's not what we see in the movies most of the time, but there are people that they listen in on calls. They do covert work. They set up fake companies and things.
That's kind of more like what he's describing. A hotel detective, even back then, they don't do reconnaissance on people. They deal with things that are happening, like people wrecking a room or something like that. This woman,
is a spy, less of a detective and more of a spy.
okay, so let's look in the second verse. Ooh.
Of course.
Well, the bellhop is funky. The dumbwaiter's a monkey. I like this.
Yeah.
Other people that work at the hotel.
Right.
If there's a knock at the door, boy, forget about it. Because and so I'm a little lost. We're seeing the other cast of characters at the hotel. If there's a knock at the door, meaning the front door, or her going to a door and knocking on it, like she's finally found.
Right. If you hear a knock on your door, Forget about it. It's over. She's got you.
She's gonna throw you out or arrest you or something.
So, right, the bellhop is funky. The dumbwaiter's a monkey. Now, dumbwaiter is a sort of elevator, those dumbwaiters. To me, I think about it in terms of this hotel in place of a dumbwaiter has a monkey that carries things up floor to floor.
I love how literal that is. Yes, let's do it. I'm not going to suggest any interpretation other than there's an actual monkey who brings you your room service.
I think that the concept of those two lines is kind of describing the parameters of which she works in.
Yeah. Like it's not a classy hotel.
This is a cheap place. This is a trashy person.
And the song is a trashy rock song.
Right.
The song itself reflects, I think, who this person actually is. So I'm looking at this second chorus and I'm wondering, it's exactly the same. I mean, close to the same except for the last line.
Yeah, it says,
come on and check her out. Why don't you check her out? But it's Hotel Detective, my little hotel detective. Yeah, Hotel Detective.
Yeah, they dropped the she's
Yeah.
Come on and check her out. Then we go to the bridge.
The bridge is fantastic. With this first line, she says she likes my face. That's the thing eccentric, weird people say.
Right.
We've met people like this, like, hello. I'm Jacqueline. I'm Joe. You have a wonderful face.
Yeah.
I like your face.
Yeah.
That's such a weird thing to say to somebody.
Right.
She says she owns the place.
Being with or around somebody who requires them to be surreptitious or, they use subterfuge. She lies about owning the place when she doesn't. Why would you say that?
We've met people like this before, right? And that's why I'm thinking maybe it's not somebody he's with, but just somebody who's just unusual and strange. Like he's literally staying in a hotel and there is a person also staying in the hotel that probably stays there weeks on end and is just listens for things and is nosy and she's like, I own this place.
I mean,
this is mine.
It could even be like we doesn't even have to necessarily be in a hotel, but an apartment. You're living in an apartment that you have this crazy nosy neighbor that's in everybody's business.
The hotel detective.
The president of the HOA, acts like she owns the place.
Or specifically not the president of the
but
HOA.
still acts like they own the... Yeah, right.
The other thing I'd like to, posit here is at this time, you're imagining They Might Be Giants is doing some touring. They have one album. They're probably staying at some pretty crappy hotels.
Sure.
They don't have a lot of money. I could just imagine John Flansburgh having tea in the lobby and just watching this person.
Right.
Flit about maybe over the course of a couple of days. And it's just like, who is that?
Right.
And then making up this song and trying to explain.
This is a hotel detective.
Yeah, but as we know, he won't reveal.
No, you'll never know. But then I think it's funny, after she says she owns the place, he says, forget about it. Because she's and I think that's, again, you can't trust anything this person says.
Then hotel detective, my little hotel detective, come on and hotel detective.
Yeah.
Why don't you check her out?
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't want to parse it too much because, as they often say, it's like sometimes I just need to put a word in there.
It just sounds cool to them.
Come on, Ed. So there's something he was gonna say something, but he doesn't. He goes, hotel detective. Come on, Ed.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of starting to say, come on and check her out, but he stops and then says, hotel detective, why don't you check her out?
Yeah, and again, the guitar solo is very much not They Might Be Giants. It's it's resonant of a certain kind of rock formula.
Yeah.
That they're using here. In fact, actually, we've often talked about how they tend to disrupt formula, but this song really adheres to it, right?
I think sometimes they specifically keep a formula.
It's verse, chorus, bridge,
chorus, guitar solo, and then it goes into, it's sort of a chorus, but it's a little bit, the framing of it's different than the other choruses. Because he says, hotel detective, come on and swing with me. Hotel detective, from the top of a tree. Hotel Detective and make me feel like a bee. Hotel Detective, that's where I want to know you.
It's the ending chorus where they could kind of be looser and freer.
Obviously, they're just having fun with the rhyming scheme of
Yeah.
tree and bee. But again, I think, like you said, I think your interpretation is probably the most correct. In orbit of somebody who's just this weird, like you said, like flies around like a bee, getting in everybody's business.
And listening and kind of going, oh, listen, the guy in room 128, someone went into his room and then they didn't come out, and then somebody else came out. That kind of like, and again, that's why I just have this romantic notion of Flansburgh just sitting in the lobby, reading a book, drinking tea, and just being fascinated by this person. Doesn't work for the hotel and doesn't seem to have any other purpose.
I'm on board with that interpretation. That's where I think it's interesting that the last thing he says, that's where I want to know you. So he's now gone into, he's talking about this person. And I think he's finally like, I got to find out what this person's about. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like maybe he's gonna now go, hey ma'am, what's your name? I'm just utterly fascinated with you,
Yeah.
and I want to talk to
Right,
you about
exactly.
it. But and maybe he does, and that's what the other songs are about.
Right.
Or maybe the other two songs are more fanciful expansions of this world, this fictional world he's created
right.
around this.
Yeah, it's interesting that this is that this song has a musical universe. It's interesting that of all the songs that they have, that this is the one that they've remade a couple of times.
If you ever wanted to start your musical from scratch, you can start with the 3 different songs of Hotel Detective being the first act, second act, and third act.
Oh, openers.
And then you can sort of like drop in all the other songs around. A strange woman flitters about and is in everybody's business. And then
It's kind of a way to describe Anna Ang in that play. She's kind of in everybody's business.
it's funny, if Anna Ang was the Hotel Detective.
Yeah.
And Angel is the next song, right?
Yeah.
On the album.
Yep.
And then where does Anna Ang?
It's in the next album. So it's the first track on Lincoln, the next album.
I love how we're just kind of expanding that They Might Be Giants. The interconnected, larger They Might Be Giants universe.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I don't know what to think about this song. Like, I feel like every song, even Hideaway Folk Family, I found myself humming it or haunting. Where this one doesn't. Maybe it will grow on me.
This is, like I said, one of those songs that generally I'll skip when I come to it. I just have never connected to it. And it's funny because it precedes a song that I would put on my Deserted Island 5-song, If They Might Be Giants song. Like, it's one of my top 5 They Might Be Giants songs. She's an angel, yeah.
She's an angel, yeah. I'm just kind of looking at it. So this song starts the second side. If we're looking at an LP.
Yeah.
And I do think we should, because at the time LPs were still very much a part, or tapes were very much a part of the listening experience. So a halfway point in which you flip is important. And so Nothing's Gonna Change My Clothes ends the first side, and then she was a hotel detective. Then She's an Angel. And then Youth Culture, Kill My Dog, Boat of Car. Yeah, and then we get into this like Flansburgh miasma. Most of side 2, right? Absolutely Bill's Mood. Carefully's Face.
Yeah.
I hope that I get old before I die.
So I hope I get old before I die. And then you have the last 3 songs, Alienations for the Rich, which is the day, and then you go back to your classic Linnell song with Rhythm Section.
Bring it out with a pop song.
The Rhythm Section 1 had. So, yeah, it's the front side is more of a classic album structure than the B side is.
Which happens.
Sure.
Like the Beatles were like that too. They put their weird songs kind of on the second side. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this particular song.
I don't think that it's they're trying to do anything that introspective. They're just describing something. This is the first song, I think, on the album where they're really just kind of seeing something in the world and trying to figure out what it means.
Yeah, I feel like that first side was a little bit more personal. Even Hideaway Folk Family. Rabid Child, I feel like is a very personal.
And this is the first song, I think, that's really just we've interpreted it in different ways, but I think your interpretation is probably it is just somebody seeing somebody and going, what the heck is this person's deal? Like, why?
I feel it's Flansburgh. Oftentimes, it really feels just like them doing it.
Yeah. I am 100% sure that you are correct, that they were touring, he was sitting in a hotel lobby, and he saw this crazy person acting like they own the place and telling you all of the information about the people in the hotel. And you're just like, who is this person? And then he made up this song about this outdated concept of the hotel detective, something that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
You know?
Because she probably came out of time. I mean, she probably is the kind of person who's just sort of out of her own time.
I do want to do one interpretation.
So this is from the They Might Be Giants wiki.
Yeah, their interpretations page. These are fan-based interpretations. Is it just me, or do the last lines seem sexual to anyone else? Come on and swing with me, parentheses, swinger baby, from the top of a tree, and make me feel like a bee, parentheses, pollination. That's where I want to know you, parentheses, in a biblical sense. Maybe I'm overanalyzing.
He's overanalyzing. Why do I think it's a he? It may be a she, but
Yeah, no, probably you're right.
I'm not getting a strong sexual vibe.
They Might Be Giants don't really delve into sex very often. They do sometimes, and there are songs that we'll get to that are definitely, I think, about sex, but they're rare. And usually when they do them, they're pretty upfront about it. Like, they're not trying to hide what the song's about.
Yeah, they're not using like a strong metaphor or
This would be a weird metaphor to be talking about sex.
at the very end.
Yeah, right. It's just at the end. Then nothing else in the song shows that at all.
Come on and swing with me from the top of a tree. I mean, it does sound like he's inviting her to do something.
But I think he's just trying to get into her world. You're in the top of a tree because you're viewing in the window.
You're trying to peek into a window
in the hotel, right? Make me feel like a bee as you kind of flit about the hotel, getting in everybody's business.
I do like you finding the interpretation that is that is fun, and I don't want to disparage.
No, I think they're very.
Disagree with them. I'm entertained.
Look, we've said lots of times, what you think a song is about is what it's about.
I am not going to yuck your yum,
Exactly.
man. I think we should reference this They Might Be Giants. It's called This Might Be a Wiki.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is what you're looking at, right? It's called the TMBG Knowledge Base, and it is simply tmbw.net.
Yep.
So if anybody wants to check this out and
take a look at
and
things,
follow along.
gives you lots of interesting stuff on the songs, who did what, what the musicianship is, and obviously interpretations. But you can also, if you're a musician, it gives you the tab for guitar and bass on every song. And, there are also discographies and there's history and stuff like that.
It's a no frills site, but it's very well organized. And it is where Sean and I follow the lyrics. So whenever we're going through the lyrics for any of these episodes, we're doing
it. From there, I'm assuming it's correct.
If it's wrong, then we are the lemmings that are following the wrong lyrics off the cliff. As always, I still had a really good time and felt I had more to say about this song at the end than I thought I did going into this episode. So
every time we find little bits and pieces that are interesting to talk about.
Looking kind of ahead here, I guess I'm really, really looking forward to the next one. Because She's an Angel, and that is one of my
favorites. I think it's an amazing song.
And for They Might Be Giants, it's quite a long song at 2 minutes and 37 seconds.
And it's got quite a bit of lyrics to it compared to a lot. They don't repeat a lot of the lyrics in it.
When you're following an angel, doesn't mean you have to throw your body off a building.
Yeah, it's so good.
I love it,
so
dude.
good.
I can't wait.
But I just love the constant dong, 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 that just
Yeah.
permeates the whole song. And I just think it's a great song. But we'll talk about that next week. Otherwise,
Yeah.
this has been She Was a Hotel Detective. You've been listening to Inside the Birdhouse.
Or birdcage. Why
Sure, why not?
Inside the birdhouse.
Inside the Birdhouse with Lewis and Sean. My name is Sean.
I'm Lewis.
Good night, everybody.